go. So this was a bit of practice, going through them again and checking that we've got the right thing. I've labelled them 1 to up to 15 again. We've got 15 points. Let's see if we all agree. What are the coordinates of the first one? 1353. Anyone disagree? No? Second one? Go for it. 1552. I would go with that. If that's 1353, that's 15. Yeah. Number 3. 1549. Number 4. 1740. Yeah, looks like that. Feel free just to tell me. 5. 2040. You all agree? 6. It's difficult because I haven't got both ribs on my both. Maybe I can. Now we've done 2. What do you think 6 is? 2135. Yeah. 7. 2438. Sounds like you. 8. Sounds? 2831. You all agree? 2831. 9. 32 and 25. 10. 36, 27, yeah. 11, 42, 15, 12, 45 and, well, 12 is 45 and 19. You got that one? You got 45, 19 as a coordinate there, and then this one is 45 and 12. Yeah, that's all right. It's fine as long as you got both of them. That's fine. At 14, we've got 52 and 15, and then finally 56 and 12. We all good? All right, cool. So did we have anything different from last time, or did we? Did we have a couple that changed, did we? It's always worth checking that, isn't it? And labelling graphs and things, putting the little marks. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a quick look at what we're going to do with this equation. We have to finish it off, right? Can you just recap though, what are we finding the equation of? The line of best fit. So this line of best fit here, right, had to go through the mean point. Now there is an issue now, isn't there? What's the issue we've now come up with? We had a couple of points that were off, yeah? Does that mean our mean point is going to be slightly different? Yeah? Should we work out the new one then? Okay, it's good practice, anyway. We've got, let's see if it's significantly different. So we've got 2932 as our mean point. Let's work it. Do you all remember how to find the mean point?
Yes.
Yeah. Remind me then? Yeah, good. Add up all these numbers and divide it by 15. Right? Add up all those numbers and divide it by 15. Now be careful that you don't press number, add, number, add, number, add, and then divide by 15 at the end. Why is that? Why is that a problem? Yeah, bed mass, which the problem is, what does the calculator do? It does the divide first and then add, so you get a really high number. So can we all do that? Can you work out your mean point again? You might know we've already done it, but it's good practice, right? You're going to be doing this for your assessment, so let's have practice. See whether you can work out the new mean point. So you should be tapping away on your calculators now, looking at that table that you've just done. $30 and $31. Yeah. Okay, guys. Anyone disagree with those two values? So these two numbers are that should be now correct. Now, you'll notice that it's not massively far off, is it? We made a couple of mistakes, but that number's fine. So this point would actually be slightly further over, but also slightly down. Just one stop. So actually, I don't think that made a massive deal with our line, ironically enough. So the line, I think the mean point is pretty much still on my line anyway. So I think, how do you guys feel? If you were to plot 30 and 31 on your graph now, are you still pretty close to the line that you drew? Yeah? So are we good to carry on with our line and the equation of our line? We don't need to make any major changes? No? All good? All right, good. So, remind me then what this mx plus c was about. What were we doing? So we're finding the equation of this line, right? What was the rise over run thing? How did we get it? Pick 2 points on the line, yeah? Alright, so I picked these 2 points. Now, what's the slight problem I now have is that what point did I pick? One of my points was the mean point. Why did I pick that? Because I know the coordinates, yeah? So I might as well choose that one. So I've got a slight change in this now, right? Which would affect my rise over run a little bit, right? I'm not going to worry about it. Is everyone okay to just carry on it from that point and understand that it would be slightly different, but the process is the same? So how did I decide where the other point was going to be? Yeah, but there was one stipulation. What must I do? What? Yeah, just has to be on the line, yeah? Somewhere else, so the mean point is on the line. How do I know the mean point is on the line, by the way? Yeah, good. The line has to go through the mean point. If the mean point is not on the line, I've done something wrong. So I pick that point, and then I pick another point. And how did I know that this point here was 1745, for instance? Alison, how did I know it was 1745? When you say measured it, you mean, yeah, you just read it off the graph, don't I? I picked a point anywhere on the line, and then I just used my grid to work out what the coordinates were. Okay, and then I did the rise over run. So can you remember, look, the run was from 17 across to the other point, which was at 29. So my run would be 12. Make sense? From 17 across to 29 is a run of 12. We would have to change that now, wouldn't we? If we were going to correct it. We're not going to. What about my rise? Why is my rise a negative number? Because the line's going down. Good. So it went down from 45, it went down to 32, look, and I've got that on here as well, 45 down to 32, and that was a drop of 13. Okay? So you're happy with your rise over run? So that number there replaces what in the equation? Yeah. So what I did was I wrote it out, look here, but with the m replaced by the rise over run. Now, do you remember last lesson I said to you, well, the plus c, well, actually, you tell me what normally is the plus c. How do we find it? The intercept. Sienna, do you remember why it was a problem, potentially, that the plus c is the intercept on the y-axis? What was the problem that I said we need to overcome? Not that, but that was something else that we were talking about. You can see it on my graph, actually. What's the problem with finding the y-intercept? No. It goes off the page. Do you remember the previous one? We really had to extend the graph miles down, and it just was a problem, wasn't it? Because we'd already drawn our graph, and then it was like, oh, now we have to draw it again because I've not got enough space. So I said to you, well, there's another way of finding the plus c without having to redraw my graph and without having to do this. So this is where we're at the moment. So why have I changed the y and the x for 32 and 29 at this stage? Alistair, you remember that? No? Not in your notes? Write it down. Yeah, but how did we find it? Where did it come from? So it looks like the x has been replaced by 29 and the y has been replaced by 32. Where does that come from, do you think? The mean point, yeah. So I've chosen the mean point. I could have chosen any point. I could have chosen this one as well or a different one. But why have I chosen the mean point again? Because we know it's definitely there. Ironically, we had a mistake. But let's carry on with the process. So the stage we're now at, guys, is, let me just, we need to figure out the plus c bit. Yes, Eden? Is this really like desperation stage? Because I'm at an important bit. If you have to, you have to, but I need to carry on with this. All right, guys. So, this is my equation. Right. I'm just going to copy that over onto my other page. And we're going to look at whether it's possible for us to figure out what the plus c is without having to find where the line crosses. You're with me at this stage? I do appreciate this is pretty tough stuff, guys, especially with the decimals. All right, it doesn't change the maths, but it does make it feel a little bit more challenging. All right, so I've written y equals negative 13 divided by 12 multiplied by x plus c. Just remind me where that comes from again. That's no, not the mean point, just this bit. That's the equation of the line. So y equals mx plus c. The m is the gradient. How do I find the gradient? Rise over run. So the negative 13 over 12 is the rise over run. Okay. Why have I put 20? So on here, look, it was going from, so the rise is the y coordinate, yeah? So I always go left to right. So I start at this point, this is what I picked, and I want to get from that point to the mean point. So what do I have to do? Well, I have to run left to right. We always do that. But do I go up or do I go down to get to that point? Down. And how far down do I go? 13. So that's where the negative 13 comes from. So the 12 is I was at 17 on the x here, look, and I need to get all the way across to the 29, and how far is that? 12. All right. So, Niall, where does the 29 and the 32 come from with the x and the y? Yep, so the mean point, okay, is at 29.32, although we have changed that, but I'm not going to do it at this point. That means that the x value is 29 and the y value is 32. So I've replaced the x with the 29 and the y with the 32. Are you all with me at this stage? Do you need to write anything down at this stage, or have you got all this already? Got it. Okay. We then, where does the 31.4 come from? Alistair? Go for it. Try it. Yeah, what did you do with the rise and the run? Divide. Yeah? Let's do it. Let's do negative 13 divided by 12. Can you do that on your calculator for me? Yeah, don't put your calculator away now. Do you get 31.4? Not yet. Don't delete that. Because what have we got to do as well? Perfect. So you've done the negative 13 divided by 12. Now multiply it by the 29. That looks like another divide by the way. And what do you get? 31.4. That's good, right? So now we're at a stage where we've got 31.4 plus c is equal to 32. I think you're all able to work out what the c must be. How do you do it? But we don't have it. We need to do it using this. Without even the graph in front of you, you can find the plus c now, just mathematically. What? Perfect. Take it away, yeah? So I know that needs to be added on, so we do the 32, subtract the 31.4, and I get the value for c. And what do you get? 0.6. Okay. What's the final step then? Just to write it all out, yeah? So the equation is y equals okay. Well, that's just the c bit. What's the m bit again? Nope. It wasn't, no. Almost. Negative 13 over 12. Good, we have to go back to that point. Negative 13 over 12. That gets multiplied by the x, and then the plus 0.6 is the final. Should we make it a bit more consistent in form? Should we change the negative 13 divided by 12 into a decimal, so it's all decimals? Yeah. Go for it. Work out that for me. That is what you did when you did negative 13 divided by 12 before you multiplied by 29. So if you just do that bit, so negative 13 divided by 12, okay, what do you get? Negative 8x plus 0.6. Alright? Make sense? Alright, so that's the equation of the line. So what? Who cares? What do we do now? Well, what's the next question in the question? It says Sarah has not got a maths mark. Her art mark is 23. Okay. Use your line of best fit to estimate a maths mark for Sarah. Now, this is a bit of a bad question. So if I was going to use my this way round, I would go using my line of best fit. So her art mark is 23. If you go across to 23 on art and read across and come down, what do you predict her maths mark would be? So her art mark is 23. Let's find 23 on art. Let's go across and let's go down. What do you think her maths mark could be? 39? Yeah? That's our prediction. All right. Now, there is a problem with our equation, because what is this value? This is the y value. Y equals 23, and this is the x value, yeah? So we've done it that way round. Now, your equation doesn't do it that way round. Your equation works out the y value given an x value. Now, what that means is, because we've made the maths the what variable? Well done, you're on fire. We've made the maths the independent variable. What that means is my equation will only work out the art answer, art value from the maths. I can't do it the other way around. So what I'm going to say to you is, well, let's use the equation, right? So use the equation to predict an art score if I scored, well, pick a math score for me. What do you like? One that falls within the range. 50? Okay. So this time, right, what we could do is on the graph, let's have a go on the graph. So if I went to maths at 50, right, let's go up, read across. What do I think the art score is going to be about? About 11, between 11 and 12, yeah? Are we happy with that on the graph? Well, let's try and use the equation to get the same answer. All right, so we think it's about 11 or 12. All right, so 11 or 12 is what we think it's going to be. But let's use the equation. Anyone know how I can use the equation to get the same answer? Well done. So the x is the 50. So let's use the equation. Let's replace the x. So y, which is the art score, can be found is equal to, by doing negative 1.08, okay, multiplied by x, which is 50, and that's the maths score, and then plus 0.6. Go for it. You work it out. Let's see whether we can get somewhere between 11 and 12. Right. Okay, guys, have you confirmed what you get? I have to do it in a bit because, you know, I've recorded it. It's all day. Made it. So what did you get? Negative 53.4. That doesn't seem right. Negative 53.4. I'm not saying you've got the wrong answer, but you know, maybe we. Why does that not look right? It's a negative for a start. This is does the answer make sense, right? So we've looked at it. Well, we think it should be about 11 or 12, right? Because we used our graph, we went 50 on maths and we went up. It should be about 11 or 12. This equation should give me 11 or 12. All right? So why have we got an answer here of negative 53.4? What have we done wrong? Any ideas? What must be wrong? Well, did the line give us something that looks reasonable? Yeah? Does the line look all right? Does using my line in this way look okay? Yeah? So what must be wrong in the process? The equation must be wrong. Something must have been wrong in our equation, right? Because our equation should have given us the right answer. So, where is that mistake? We need to find that. Is it the 50? But that's from here. That was what Sienna just told me to use. There's nothing wrong with choosing 50. Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. What we'll try and do is we'll come back to the working out, right? Because the process we've done. Let's see if we can figure out what the correct equation would be. So I know we've only got, we haven't got a long time left. Do you reckon you could get Desmos open quite quickly so we can set things up for next time? On your laptop? We go for it? So Desmos. No, so we've got next lesson, but we are going to start talking about the assessment Thursday and Friday. But I'll try and guide you as much as I can. Now, first thing we want to do, guys, are you all, you got Desmos? So the thing is, you want desmos.com and then click on Graphing Calculator. Quick question, Milo. Why didn't you get your laptop out to use the calculator? Next time, rather than sitting there. Right, what I want you to do, guys, is when you use Desmos, have you kind of got this screen in front of you? Does everyone know now? So hopefully what we can do to get this done is click on the plus over here. It's going to be off the screen on my video. But if you click on the plus, you are going to add a table. Okay? All right. All got the table? What you're then going to do is type in the coordinates. So 13 and what was it? 53 was the first coordinate. All right. Now, what I'm going to get you to do, because I know the bell has just gone, all right, so I was hoping to get further through this, is if you could enter all your coordinates into this table ready for tomorrow. And what I'll do is I'll show you how to do the equation, and we'll check whether the equation and where we might have made a mistake with our calculations. Okay? Does that make sense? So if you can have all those typed in into Desmos, then we'll be good. Okay. Have a good day.